Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, judging by the previous 5 videos, you're well aware that I've been releasing my What If Dudley Dursley Was a Wizard series every couple of days, and now we're narrowing in on the final stretch. The last 2 years are all that's left, and we're kicking it off with Dudley's 6th year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He's clearly matured from his experiences last year, and I feel like we might see a different Dudley this time round. Maybe a Dudley whose main focus isn't making his cousin's life a living hell. Dudley Dursley and the Half-Blood Prince is here. It's now. Enjoy. Welcome back everyone, let's get this year up and running. Now I've said that I wouldn't actually try to go on and change the entire story to suit Dudley. I tried to stick to the plot and blend Dudley in naturally, as I've tried to do with my previous videos. So with that being said, you won't see too much of a change in the opening scene of the book. Narcissa Malfoy still goes to Snape's house with her sister Bellatrix and makes the unbreakable vow. Dumbledore still visits Harry in the cafe and takes him to visit Horace Slughorn. That all remains the same. This is the first time that Harry and Dudley didn't actually make their way to King's Cross Station together. Harry is overly concerned about what's going to happen this year, now that it's public knowledge that Voldemort is back. After his realization that his cousin was actually telling the truth all along, Dudley's attitude changed towards Harry. He started to really accept that his vision of Harry was clouded by jealousy for so long. He finally realised that Harry was trying to do the right thing. On board the Hogwarts Express, Dudley pops his head into Harry's compartment. Everything alright? Yeah, fine. Got here safely, I see. Yeah, no trouble. Right then. See you later. Hermione comments how awkward that was, followed by saying that Dudley needs to practice more at being nice because it's not quite believable yet. Back at school, it's Dudley and Harry who find common ground when joking during a free period. He finds it strange that they even had something in common to laugh about. McGonagall scolds the two and suggests that potions class be on the card with Professor Slughorn. When they get to the classroom and obviously have no books, Slughorn instructs them to grab one of the second-hand books in the back. Harry quickly bests his cousin to the newer, nicer book, while Dudley settles for the old, beaten-up copy. Doesn't matter. I'll get Mum to buy me a new one next week. Still showing signs of a smug nature, he's not going to lose it all in one day. Dudley notices how much graffiti covers so many of the text before realising it's actually notes written with what seems like improvements or additional instructions. He then carefully follows the instructions with the written adjustments and actually brews the perfect draft of Living Death, much to everyone's surprise. Even Hermione is furiously jealous that she was bested by Dudley of all people. He wins the liquid look and holds onto it with a big smug smile on his face. This was a big deal for Dudley. He'd never won anything in school and was a pretty average student at best. Dudley had always felt like he was in Harry's shadow since they arrived at Hogwarts. I mean, at least Ron was Harry's best friend and around him all the time. Dudley wasn't. He had always struggled to fit in. He had 11 years of being made feel like he was the most special boy on the planet, and it was only when he left his parents did he realise how much they were overdoing it to compensate growing up with Harry. His blood status would not allow Draco to befriend him, and everyone genuinely liked Harry in Gryffindor, despite some run-ins, so this is a proud moment for him. For once, Dudley was the man at potions. He thought about what he'd use the liquid look for, maybe in another subject, maybe to gain an advantage when flying a broom, since he was so uneasy about taking to the sky. All he knew was, this could be his tickets to his own moment, his own memory, especially as Hermione had told him just how effective liquid look could be. As the year went on, Dudley carried the book everywhere with him and studied it like it was a Bible. He read ahead in the book to memorise certain potions when tasked with them in class. It puts him at a great advantage in Slughorn's classroom, and he finally gets invited to the Slug Club along with Hermione and Harry. Hermione was doing well in class, as it was in her nature to push herself to excel, and Harry was doing okay, but he was invited mainly because of who he was. However, such success started to cause curiosity between Harry and Hermione. who wanted to know what Dudley was up to and how he was so damn good at potions. Harry tries to think of a plan to separate his cousin from the book, but Hermione is so frustrated at Dudley outperforming her that she just straight up confronts him about his performance in class, and he openly reveals to her and Harry that it's all thanks to the side notes wrote in on the beaten up old book that he was left with. Hermione thinks Dudley's cheating, but Harry disagrees. The original potions, formulas and remedies were adjusted to be better and extremely accurate, and Dudley can't be faulted for using someone else's perfection of what appeared to be a book with some flaws. It's just something they should all get on with. Harry knows Dudley is trying to be a better person and feels like he deserves a chance. No matter how hard Harry tries, he can't seem to get through to Horace Slughorn in order to get him to reveal the true memory, the one that wasn't tampered with. It frustrates Harry that he literally has nothing up his sleeve to gain any sort of advantage in retrieving the information needed. When he returns to the common room, he sits down looking dejected. Dudley approaches him and asks what's happening, and instead of saying nothing, Harry just opens up to his cousin. He explains how dangerous Voldemort is now that he's returned to full power. They've got no way of stopping him, and the slim hope there is of finding out about the root of the Dark Lord's true power lies with Professor Slughorn. Harry says he has to face it. He's all out of luck. Dudley hesitates for a moment and takes the vial of liquid luck out of his pocket, hands it to Harry and says, "Then it's a good thing I've got some to spare." "But that's yours. You earned that," Harry says. "Yeah, I earned it, but you need it. Take it," Dudley replies. This is the final piece of assurance that Harry needs that Dudley is finally on the same page as him. He takes the potion and goes on his way as he did previously in the original timeline. Dudley, meanwhile, wants to act on his newly found confidence and starts to follow Draco Malfoy, especially after his encounter with Harry in the bathroom earlier on in the year. He sees Draco let the Death Eaters into the castle one by one. The sight of Greyback terrifies him, and he's literally frozen stiff. He has no idea where Harry is, or Dumbledore, or anyone that can help him if he's seen. It's a harsh reality for Dudley to understand that bravery and courage means placing yourself in harm's way. As he exits the main castle to check Hagrid's hut, he sees the dark mark being cast into the sky right over the astronomy tower. He stares momentarily before deciding to continue to Hagrid's in search of Harry. Something tells him to look up once again, and he sees something that will never leave his memory. A body that appeared to be launched from the top of the astronomy tower. He couldn't quite make out who it was, but his first instinct told him it was Professor Dumbledore, due to the long hair and beard made out in the moonlight. He made his way over to the body. Maybe the person was still alive. Maybe he could help. As he approached, he seen Dumbledore's lifeless body and felt weak at the knees. For the first time, Dudley truly wanted to leave, go back to Privet Drive, and never come back to Hogwarts or the Wizarding World. But he knew it was way past that. He knew this was an all-out war. If Dumbledore was dead, who was there now to protect the students? What would they do without their headmaster? The only man Voldemort ever feared. Harry knelt down beside the body and looked on in disbelief. This isn't right, thought Dudley. As the students and teachers began to gather, they raised their wands one by one as Dudley joined them. He felt an anger build up inside him, like he wanted to explode. The only thing the Wizarding World has represented for Dudley is pain and misery. At the end of the book, he walks out just as Harry, Ron and Hermione have read the note from Regulus Black. He tells them he wants to help. He doesn't want anyone else to die. He's not going back to school this year. Dudley Dursley is coming on the Horcrux hunt. With that being said, everyone, that is it for year 6, The Half-Blood Prince. How have you all enjoyed the first 6 years so far? Do you think Dudley makes sense as a wizard? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to stick around, guys, for the final showdown, the final year, Dudley Dursley and the Deathly Hallows. It all ends with that video. I'll be seeing you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do, it's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content, so if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at Folklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.